Colorado, Wednesday, August 5th, 2020, 2:40 a.m. Summer of 2020, while the pandemic was raging and people were in the streets protesting the murder of George Floyd, there was another heinous hate crime that had also taken place that year. In the early morning hours, firefighters responded to a fire raging at 5312 North Truckee Street. The home was inhabited by a family of immigrants from Senegal. 3 people living in the house jumped from the second floor and survived without life-threatening injuries. Unfortunately, 5 other people in the house didn't survive. The 3 adult victims were ages 29, 23, and 25. Among the dead were also 2 baby girls, ages 2 and 6 months old. From the very beginning, the authorities went out of their way to avoid using the phrase hate crime, and this would be a denial that would be ongoing for the police throughout this entire investigation and case. A GoFundMe was set up to help the family pay for funeral expenses. The police eventually called it arson, of course, and they did the usual plea to the public for anyone to come forward and solve the case for them. The Denver police only bothered to offer a measly $14,000 for any information leading to an arrest. 5 people burned to death, 2 of them babies, and they thought that was only worth $14,000. A couple of weeks after this act of mass murder, police released images of the suspects taken from a surveillance camera. They were shown wearing white masks and dark hoodies. Police also released an image of the car believed to have been used in the massacre, a dark 4-door sedan. This, of course, didn't yield much. Finally, in November of 2020, the Denver police engaged in an accidental act of investigation. They applied for what the white media has characterized as a controversial search warrant. It's called a reverse keyword search warrant. It relies on requiring Google to turn over the account information for any users who search for particular keywords in a particular time frame. In this case, Denver police asked Google to give them a list of any users who had searched for the victim's home address in the 15 days leading up to the fire. The search warrant led to the arrest of the murderers. Google provided the search histories for the suspects dating back to July 1st, 2020. The histories showed the suspects had searched for the targeted address prior to the fire, and it also showed searches for news stories relating to the fire in the hours after the crime. So they were celebrating the mass murder they had committed. Police also used the criminals' Snapchat location data to place them at the scene of the slaughter. The first person they connected to this mass murder was 16-year-old Kevin Bowie. They also would arrest another 16-year-old, Gavin Seymour, as well as 14-year-old Dylan Siebert. Bowie and Seymour were charged.